But now I want your calls on this. Should we release wolves into the UK? 0207 862 2222 is the number. Researchers have claimed that reintroducing wild wolves into the Scottish Highlands could help tackle climate change by protecting native woodlands from animals which eat young tree saplings, namely red deer. The scientists estimate that as little as 167, very specific number, 167 wild wolves would be able to reduce the red deer population enough to allow trees to regulate it naturally or regenerate naturally. This would remove about 1 million tonnes of carbon dioxide a year from the UK, which is pretty good, making each wolf worth about £154,000 a year to the UK's goal of reaching net zero. But do you want wolves loose in Scotland or in the UK in general, Albie?
Absolutely not.
They look so lovely.
First of all, can I just say, that is a very misrepresentative cutout of a wolf.
No, this is life-size.
No, wolves are huge.
You've been watching too much Game of Thrones.
They can weigh up to 80 kilograms, which is almost as much as I weigh, and they can be up to 2 metres long.
They can,
but that's the wolf.
That's smaller than a German Shepherd.
Just to be very clear, the wolf that would be reintroduced to the Scottish wild would be a Eurasian wolf, which is only this height. This is a life-size. So it's a little bit bigger than a fox.
Though, from me, one of the things that really comforts me about living in this country is knowing that there are no animals here that can kill me. And I don't want wolves anywhere. I don't want them in the Scottish...
I wouldn't get too complacent on that,
I don't want them in the Scottish Highlands. I don't want them in the Lake District, even though it might be very unrealistic that a wolf is going to come down from the Scottish Highlands to London to come and eat me. I am still irrationally scared of it happening. Well, so the answer's got to be no.
I don't think it's an irrational fear of wolves, because wolves are a pack animal. They're a predator, and they could definitely kill humans. But and without being too glib about this, because it's actually quite serious, cows kill people, and we have plenty of them in this country. So do we rule out reintroducing a new species, Ava, on the basis that it could kill us? I mean, dogs are domesticated dogs that we love so much. Kill us.
I'm really pro this sort of rewilding effort. And actually, it's something that Sadiq Khan has been doing down here in London with beavers. Yes. He's brought beavers back to Ealing.
Scary beavers.
Well, you could make an argument that they are frightening because they change the direction of certain waterways, and that upsets people because it could lead to flooding.
Which is dangerous,
or, whatever. But the point is that humans are probably the most disruptive force, well, they are the most disruptive force to the natural environment, and actually getting areas back to, getting back biodiversity, increasing the rewilding project, all of these are good things, and we should look into doing them. And I think, maybe to put this in terms that Albie might understand, you love the free market. Right, you love the free market and you think that it should be allowed to operate with its, amongst its whims and whatever. This is essentially the free market, but on biodiversity.
But you see, I've got a free market.
We're just bringing back the predator.
I've got a free market solution to this problem. Give out more shooting licences for shooting businesses, and then let people hunt them.
Businesses?
Let people hunt the red deer and then create businesses out of it. There are lots of people who want to go out into the countryside and do shooting for fun. So let more people do that, shooting in a safe and regulated way. Bring the red deer population down and also create business and economic growth. Well, there's a free market solution to this problem.
I suppose that's what we do already. We do cull deer. I'm going to have to pause you both there because we have to get to a break, but it won't be the end of this discussion because we're taking your calls on this after it. Should we release wild wolves, like this one sitting next to me, into the Scottish Highlands? It could help to tackle climate change, but is that a good enough reason? Do let us know. And that's my own personal problems. Let's get into wolves, shall we? And take your calls on whether you think that we need to release wild wolves into Britain. 167 of them, to be exact. Is that something that you would support, you could get behind? 0207 862 2222 is the number. We're going to go straight to a ranger, I believe, in the Scottish borders. This is Karen. Karen, what's your thoughts on rewilding the Scottish Highlands with wolves?
Absolutely crazy.
Why?
Well, it says 167, and it's not going to stay it's not going to stay that number.
No.
It says it could reduce, not that it would reduce.
Yes, okay, so there's no
you see what
certainty
I
in
mean?
anything, Karen, but don't you think that
Yeah, yeah.
biodiversity is the key? And also, if we can increase the woodlands in Scotland and we can reduce our carbon dioxide output, that's a great thing, is it not?
Yeah. Well, for somebody who is surrounded by trees, trust me, there is so much woodland up here, it's ridiculous. The SNP wanted 25% of Scotland covered by trees. It's all these things. So all this is in place already. My point about getting the wolves in is I'm going to get told off now. It's the tree huggers that kind of say about getting these wolves, rewilding everything. There was an experiment. Well, not an experiment, but there was around here. We had wild goats, and they moved them from here down to Devon. And every single one of them perished because they couldn't cope with the environment that they were put in.
I understand there are some
so
concerns.
This is what I mean. And they say also, sorry to bother, the biggest problem we have up here is badgers.
Oh, what's wrong with the badgers?
They have no predators. Say if it was a fight between a fox and a badger, the badger would win every time.
But what about, Karen, a wolf and a badger?
Now, that's a whole new ball game. But
I might have solved your problem, Karen.
I know, but we're not allowed to touch them.
What?
Badgers, they're protected.
Because the badgers are protected and
oh
everything
yes,
like
no,
that.
absolutely, I understand that.
Get...
But the foxes would be allowed to touch them, Karen. And so on that basis alone, I think you should get behind the rewilding of the wolves rather than the foxes. The wolves would be able to touch them. So I think you should get behind the rewilding of the wolves for that reason alone.
Oh, heck no.
Okay, Karen, I'm not convincing you. Thank you so much for your call, though. How do you feel being called a tree hugger, by the way?
Well, look,
you often hug a tree?
No, but also it's an arrestable offence, right, to kill a badger. So maybe we'll have to put the wolves in the prisons and then we solve the problem the way that Albie would like to.
Oof, okay, that's very Hunger Games.
But yeah, I'm a bit of a tree hugger, yeah.
Kerry from Inverness. So it'll be up sort of your neck of the woods. Kerry, what's your view on this?
Yes. Hi. Just to point out, it's not the borders to Karen. It's the Highlands. They're talking about Cairn Farms, that area.
Yeah, Kerry, I was aware of that. It's just that I am suspecting if it worked out well, we'd even get it in Richmond Park in London. They would do it all across just to cull the deer numbers.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I know Albie's having a heart attack at that thought.
I live near Richmond Park, so I honestly was hyperventilating when you made that suggestion.
But Kerry, what's your view? So it is up near you. Would you be happy with wolves in the Highlands?
Paul Lister in Allerdale Estate in 2003 offered 50,000 acres fenced in, but it was like no one wanted it. However, Dominic Spratlin from Leeds University has proven that each wolf would be worth 154,000 per wolf and would reach net zero by 2050. Mm-hmm. There's been no wolf-human attacks in the last 18 years.
Well, there hasn't been any wolves.
And that's all over the world.
Oh, that's an interesting fact then, okay.
Okay, so in the last 18 years, unless you go in to where their cubs are, they will not attack a human. They're more scared of humans. And that's Leeds University. And it was Professor Dominic Spratlin.
I feel like, Kerry, you've done a bit of research into this, so you're impressing me greatly.
Yes.
So you're very pro rewilding of the wolves. What would you say say to people that trek around the Highlands and they go on walks and things that are maybe just a bit scared because not having an attack in 18 years doesn't mean there isn't going to be an attack?
They won't touch them unless they go near their cubs. Mm. And even then, in the last 18 years, all over the world where wolves live wild, no one has been killed, attacked, or hurt by wolves unless they go near their cubs.
you said that. Kerry, thank you very much for your call and all your interesting facts on that. Claudia from Shropshire, are you convinced now, having listened to Kerry?
No, I come to it from a different viewpoint.
Go on.
And that is that England is well known as a beautiful and in part open country.
Yep.
But our grassy landscapes are only preserved chiefly by the grazing of sheep and to some extent cattle.
Uh-huh.
This is only possible because they have no natural predators to kill them. Sheep are very easy prey for wolves, and farmers' profits on them are not very big.
Do you know,
farmers
you're absolutely right on that, Claudia. Just to reiterate, we are talking about Scotland, although I presume if it worked out, it would be moved down to England. So your point about England is absolutely spot on. But the Netherlands have managed to do this by putting compensation schemes in place for farmers who have their flock killed by wolves. Would that sort of soften your opinion on it?
Netherlands is a very different country. It has far less open landscape than we do.
Okay.
And in this country, we couldn't afford the compensation schemes, I shouldn't think, anyway. And farmers, they don't just farm animals for money. They like to look after their beasts and give them the best life while they have one. And they certainly wouldn't want to turn them out where there was a danger of them being preyed on by wolves.
Claudia, I really do appreciate. I hadn't thought about that because certainly in parts of Wales and the Lake District and parts of Yorkshire, I know that sheep farmers, shepherds, they just let their sheep roam. It's sort of the sheep weirdly stay in their own area. I don't know how that works, but it would make it very difficult to keep the wolves out, as it would be. Thank you very much for your call. Thanks for all your calls on that.